Very good morning to all of you. Sri Surendranath Tripathi, Director General, IIPA. Sri Sunil Kumar Gupta, Secretary to the Vice President. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Union Minister, for unavoidable reasons is not present here. But we recognize his huge contribution as Chairman IIPA with deep involvement and commitment. We had a long discussion this morning. His absence, as you may be aware, is on account of bereavement of a very near and dear, his younger brother. Distinguished members of the Executive Council, esteemed faculty, dedicated officers, and valued members of the IIPA. The 70th year is a special for any institution. It is both a moment of celebration, introspection, and reflection. Celebration because it is a significant milestone in the journey towards serving the country that is home to 1/6 of humanity. Introspection and reflection so as to move ahead with greater vigor and dedication, aligning with the emerging aspirations of Bharat. Over the last decade, spurred by a series of people-centric policies and initiatives, there has been in place a mood of hope and possibility, high expectancy and aspirations. Institutions such as the IIPA, with rich canvas of experienced human resource, have to be in high state of proactive role. Undoubtedly, IIPA has advanced governance domestically and championed international cooperation and knowledge exchange. This institution has enriched the discourse around public administration, ensuring that our civil servants are equipped with a broad, forward-looking outlook that encompasses both national and international best practices. As indicated on earlier occasions by me, from this platform, IIPA must deliberate the purpose of its coming into being, the goal, the achievements thus far, and how to optimize its performance and relevance in the journey ahead. A fundamental premise of the IIPA was that Indian public administration should have Indian characteristics, distanced from colonial mindset, aligning with our aspirations post-independence. This is a time to take stock of the progress on this anvil. We are indeed proud when we look at the overall trajectory, more so in the last decade. We are now defying the earlier defied colonial ideas and symbols. Kingsway has transformed itself to now Kartavya Path, and race course is Lok Kalyan Marg. Netaji Bose stands in the canopy where once King George's statue was there. The ensign of the Indian Navy was changed to include our tricolor, and we now have 1,500 colonial era statutes that are not on the book anymore. The new criminal laws, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam have unshackled Indian criminal justice system from colonial legacy. It is a monumental and revolutionary change, and now Dand Vidhan has become Nyay Sanhita, Nyay Vidhan, effecting improvements to protect victims' interests, carry out prosecution efficiently, and amongst many other much needed wholesome changes. Friends, Bharat is quickly jettisoning the colonial mindset. Now, we do not need English to learn medicine or technology. The question that we all must think is public administration marching in the right direction? On the 75th anniversary, our Prime Minister reminded us that we need to build an India free of colonial mindset. On this momentous occasion in our post-independence journey, the Prime Minister gave Panchapran or 5 resolves. These are worth taking by one and all, as they need action at the level of one and all. 1. A resolve of developed India. There can be no difference on this. Removing any trace of the colonial mindset. Taking pride in our legacy, our strength of unity, and lastly, fulfilling the duties of citizen with honesty. Our public administration would be out of sync with national mood and spirit if it does not imbibe these values. People in public administration should be invariably committed to the values of nationalism, the idea of a developed and united India, and to serving all Indian citizens without fear or favor. It is IIPA's responsibility to infuse these values in the steel frame of Bharat. Distinguished audience, IIPA can massively contribute in fructifying these goals. IIPA is eminently befitting platform for ideation and innovation when it comes to policy evolution and implementation. The democratic fabric of this country is amply reflected in the preamble of the Indian Constitution, its fundamental rights in Part 3, and fundamental duties in Part 4, Capital A of the Constitution. Rights blossom with a proactive public administration. Visionary policies and aspirations must be transformed into reality, ensuring people avail in fullness their rights. This is ongoing process. It needs to fast track. Ensuring rights is much beyond just having an intent about it. It is a matter of capabilities and competence. The world is changing too fast. We have to keep pace with it, and so must our public administration. Friends, as we stand at the significant juncture, public administration faces unprecedented challenges as also opportunities. The rapidly evolving digital landscape, the imperatives of climate change, and ever-rising aspirations of our citizens demand impactful, transformative, effective governance approaches. In today's context, digital transformation is not just an option. It is beyond necessity. It is way of life with us. It is absolute necessity. India's success with digital public goods and platforms has been globally applauded by global institutions and the countries as a role model for the developing world. In this sphere, we have shown the world how technology can be leveraged for inclusive governance for 1.4 billion people, even in the remotest corner. Through our India Stack program, we are setting a template for the global south to emulate and implement technological solutions for governance. The world is fast adopting India model, seeking our assistance and giving India a soft diplomacy cutting edge. IIPA must continue to play a pivotal role in preparing civil servants and public administrators for this fast-changing digital age. Our training programs and research initiatives are required to focus on emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, data analytics, machine learning, and the kind, while ensuring their ethical and responsible implementation in public service delivery. The cornerstone of effective public administration is continuous learning and capacity building. IIPA has a great role to play on these aspects. Distinguished audience, however, while embracing technology, we must also ensure it does not create further divisions. Rapidly advancing technology can exclude the most vulnerable section of the society. Therefore, our approach should be inclusive, a hallmark of our 5,000-year-old civilizational ethos. And we need to be inspired, as we are at the moment, by Antyodaya, ensuring that technological advancements reach all corners of our population. As we integrate technology, we must prioritize cyber security and data privacy. These are emerging areas of great concern for ordinary citizens. An environment of trust must be fostered where citizens feel that their information is secure and used responsibly by all institutions concerned. Distinguished audience, as we progress into a new era of governance, data must be at the forefront of our decision-making process. Evidence-based studies are essential to understand the impact of various welfare policies. Data is bedrock, fundamental premise of assessing needs of the society. It is data that dispels myth, makes us aware of the ground reality, and therefore it is quintessence to any governance, at the heart of which is welfare of the people. Assessments based on empirical evidence will not only enhance the credibility of our institutions, but also build public trust in governance. I emphasize this because in a country like ours, we may have to be empirical on occasions on account of mass data that has to be analyzed. It will also give a befitting reply to those who are not ready to accept phenomenal rise of Bharat and leave no effort to taint and tarnish our institutions. On various occasions, I have expressed my concern over emerging worrisomely alarming scenario where some within, some without are engaged in a structured manner with evil design that is inimical to Bharat's interest to run down our institutions, tend them differently, and make all efforts that our progress be not recognized. But the country has moved forward with speed. As we discuss the transformative power of public administration, there has been recognition of the immense power of the half of humanity, our mothers and sisters. Women have demonstrated exemplary administrative acumen, managing households with a high degree of efficiency, foresight, and resilience. People present here, particularly in the front row, are aware how top positions, that of the Chief Secretary and DGP, and secretaries in Government of India and states, are being occupied very ably by this gender. Friends, imagine the quantum leap our economy could take if women were equally represented. If the representation was uniform and in all domains of public service, policy making. After nearly 3 decades of consistent and delayed efforts, the long anticipated justice was finally delivered with the Parliament passing Women's Reservation Bill, providing 1/3 reservation for women in state legislatures and Lok Sabha. A game changer. This will have geometric impact on our harmony, policy making, societal growth, and overall development. This decision not only acknowledges the leadership potential of women, but also fulfills a profound aspect of social justice. I strongly believe increasing participation of women in policy making will promote an empathetic and sensitive governance. Friends, India is a land of fairs and festivals with frequent religious congregations dotting our landscape over the year. These celebrations on occasions are overshadowed and marred by mishaps that are avoidable. I had reflected this on 2 earlier occasions also. IIPA has a huge role to play in this. Sensitizing district administration at the national level, all over the country, needs to pick up. Surely anticipatory steps can avert most of these mishaps. Just imagine what a long way we have come when we look at the technological aspect of IMD. When we have natural disasters, cyclones of gravity, human lives are saved. Property destruction is also saved. In this backdrop, there is no reason why, when we have fairs and festivals and congregations all over the country, well in advance the information is known. A country that is known to the world to have organized Kumbh Mela without any problem. I am sure IIPA will take a step to ensure the district administration in the country is ably sensitized to have a calendar so that these events are well planned, right from making amenities to the people who congregate and sensitize the administration that handles sometimes delicate situations. Same goes about dilapidated buildings, bridges. Surely IIPA can step in and sensitize on these and related aspects. I have only reflected illustratively. IIPA can get as exhaustive as possible. Democracy gets strengthened with people's commitment to discipline and nationalistic thoughts going up. Democracy has to be nurtured, it has to blossom. Every citizen's participation has to be there. That is reflected in Part 4, Capital A of the Constitution, fundamental duties. We have to inculcate, imbibe a spirit of nation first. Nation always first. Nation above personal or other interest. Development has to be addressed in a bipartisan manner. Development has to be away from routine aspects of politicking. Friends, with constraint, I need to indicate to you there are forces, both in Bharat and abroad, that want to impede Bharat from moving forward on the path of economic upsurge. An upsurge that is exponential, an upsurge that is unprecedented, an upsurge that is unrivaled amongst large economies, an upsurge the world is stunned with. The rise of Bharat as a favorite global destination of opportunity and investment in the accolades emanating from IMF and the World Bank. Some people seek to impede these. Then our rise in strategic and diplomatic spheres, where our voice is being heard at the moment as never before. When India is emerging through able leadership at global level as a center that stands for dialogue and diplomacy. India that is credited in the world for bringing Global South on the center stage and getting inclusion of African Union in G20. When we find these forces, we have to get into a mode to be committed passionately with a mission to ensure that Bharat's rejuvenation and resurgence is fast-tracked rather than impeded. In this also, administration has to play a pivotal role, and guidance must emanate from the IIPA. I emphasize this because our bureaucracy, by its very nature, has a potential to be transformative to any degree. They are role model in the district and elsewhere for the people at large, particularly impressionable minds. And therefore, if IIPA takes steps, how these role models are more exposed to our impressionable minds in schools and colleges, how they inculcate a sense of discipline by impactful presence on the road, how they make our institutions effective by visiting a school or a primary health center. These are aspects on which I am sure IIPA will look into. Distinguished audience, as we work towards the vision of a developed Bharat 2047, and that's a challenge. We are proud of our accomplishments, being placed at the moment as the 5th largest global economy on way to becoming 3rd one. But there has to be 8-fold rise in our per capita income. That is a challenge we have to meet. And therefore, I would urge, IIPA has already been aligning its programs with national priorities. Its training programs have evolved significantly, incorporating modern pedagogical methods and practical case studies. The institute needs to further strengthen these initiatives to enhance problem-solving capacities among civil servants, promote evidence-based policy making, and strengthen ethical leadership in governance. Our civilization is synonymous with ethical standards. Ethics always has played a key role over thousands of years of existence of our civilization. Ethics binds us. Ethical standards can never be compromised. But these have to be nurtured. These have to be nurtured constantly by ensuring that where temptation is too tempting, one would normally yield. This binary strength has to emanate from the courses that have to spring from institutions like IIPA. Friends, now entering 8th decade, the institution would surely focus more on emotional intelligence of the trainees. Developing soft skills, emotional intelligence, and cultural competence among public officials is crucial so that officials can understand the struggles of the marginalized and the underprivileged, design and implement policies that truly address those challenges. I have had the occasion in my position to address probationers. I reflect before them. They have options. They are very talented. But the kind of satisfaction and happiness they will get to serve 1/6 of humanity in this position is not available elsewhere. That confidence has to be imparted by bodies like IIPA. Whatever you deliberate in the meeting today, I would appeal it should revolve around this central idea. Effective and efficient public administration is the very basis of our development journey. Friends, we all in togetherness are vectors of development of this Amrit Kaal. When I see talent before me, the people in the first row and subsequent rows, I feel humbled because I don't have to speak to them what should be done. I have to learn from them, from their experience, what should be done. And the organization is indeed blessed to have such a reservoir of talent, of experience, exposure, commitment. I am sure it will optimally perform. I wish this meeting and the team here all the very best. I am confident that with your continued dedication, IIPA will scale new heights of excellence in the years to come. Thank you. Jai.
Thank you, sir, for your warm, motivating and captivating address. So please rise for the national anthem. Please be seated till the Vice President of India departs.
संसद टीवी के और भी प्रोग्राम्स देखने के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें हमारा YouTube चैनल और हाँ, इन्हें लाइक और शेयर करना ना भूलें।